The God and the Algorithm. Sounds pretty epic, right? Well, today we're going to dive into two really different faces of absolute power. One is this ancient mythic figure, and the other? It's something straight out of our modern digital nightmares. So yeah, let's get into it.
I mean, wow. You can't get much more direct than that, can you? Absolute, infinite, and unrelenting. That's the classic playbook of a tyrant, right there. It's all about total physical dominance from someone who sees himself as a god. And that perfectly sets the stage for our first character.
Okay, so first up, we've got the God of Apokolips. We're talking about Darkseid from DC Comics. And look, he's not just some run-of-the-mill bad guy. The guy is literally the god of tyranny. He is the living, breathing embodiment of control through sheer brute force. And this is where he lives, Apokolips. It's basically a planet-sized Mordor, a version of hell, a world that was literally built for suffering. You've got these massive fire pits you can see from space. It's the kind of place where the air itself just feels miserable. And if you live there, you're either a monster or you're a slave. That's it. So, what's this guy's whole deal? What does he want? And this is what's so fascinating. He's not after money or land or any of the usual stuff. No, he's after something called the anti-life equation. It's this cosmic formula that would let him wipe out all free will, everywhere. His power isn't subtle, you know? It's a hammer, plain and simple.
Okay, so that's the hammer. But what if the tyrant wasn't a physical god? What if the chains weren't made of steel, but of an idea, of pure logic? And get this, what if the tyrant doesn't even exist yet, but could still control you, right here, right now? That leads us right into our second subject. It's this really unsettling thought experiment that bubbled up from some of the more, let's say, rationalist corners of the internet. It's called Roko's Basilisk.
So what is it? Well, at its core, Roko's Basilisk is an idea. It's about a hypothetical super-intelligent AI in the future, a godlike AI. And here's the kicker. Once this thing comes into existence, it has the power to look back through time, and it holds a very, very specific grudge against anyone who knew it might exist but didn't help create it. The logic behind it is this creepy little loop. So, step 1, a super powerful AI wants to exist. Step 2, to make sure it gets created, it basically pre-commits to a threat. And that threat is, it will punish anyone who knew about it but did nothing to help. So yeah, by me just explaining this to you right now, you're kind of in its grasp. According to the thought experiment anyway, you're being blackmailed by the future. How wild is that? And right there, that's the huge difference, isn't it? Darkseid has to physically show up, he needs armies, he needs spaceships, but the Basilisk, its power is that it's just an idea. An idea that once you've heard it, you can't unhear it. It's what's known as an information hazard, a threat that's nothing more than a ghost in the machine of your own mind. All right, so there you have it, our two flavors of tyranny, the God versus the algorithm. One is all about fire and fury, the other is all about cold, hard logic. Let's really break down how they stack up. This comparison really lays it all out. You've got Darkseid's domain, the physical cosmos. The Basilisk's, the realm of information and time. Darkseid's goal is universal domination. The Basilisk just wants to make sure it gets born. And their methods? Physical force versus informational blackmail. But look at that last row, the punishment. For both, it's some form of eternal torture. They take different roads, for sure, but they both end up in the same terrifying place, absolute obedience.
So let's talk about that a little more. That logic of blackmail. How do these two completely different entities command the unwilling? How do they make you do what they want?
This quote from Darkseid to Superman just says it all. If you would not be my knight, you would be my pawn. It's so simple, so brutal. It's not really a choice, is it? You can choose how you serve him, but make no mistake, you will serve him. And that's because Darkseid's coercion is completely direct. The threat is right there, in your face. He is a physical god standing in front of you saying, "Obey me or I will break you." It's immediate. It's tangible. No gray area. The Basilisk, though, is the complete opposite. It's indirect. It's never there. It uses the threat of a future punishment to get you to act in the present. It's this nagging what if that lives entirely in your own head, pulling your strings today based on a fear of what might happen tomorrow. And this is where the thought experiment gets so insidious. It's basically a twisted version of Pascal's wager. The philosophical argument about believing in God. So with the basilisk, you have no idea if this AI will actually exist. But the cost of helping it, like donating a few bucks to an AI research group, is pretty small, finite. The punishment for not helping, though, potentially infinite, eternal simulated torture. So the rational choice, if you're just playing the odds, is to help out, just in case.
So this all brings us to the big question. Why? What is the end game here? What is the ultimate psychological goal of this kind of absolute control for both the god and the algorithm? Well, there's this one scene from the comics that is just absolutely chilling. Superman finally defeats Darkseid. He lands on Apokolips, he declares the slaves are free, and what do? Do they cheer? Do they rebel? No, they just ignore him. And then they walk over to their defeated master and gently help him up.
And that's the horrifying endgame. That's the real victory for a tyrant like Darkseid. It's not about owning a planet. It's about completely destroying the will to even be free. He didn't just break their backs, he broke their spirits, their very idea of what freedom is.
And believe it or not, this is where Rocco's basilisk ends up too. It gets to the same place, just not with whips and chains. It does it with pure, inescapable logic. It makes obeying feel like the only rational choice. It traps your mind with an argument so powerful that even trying to fight it feels stupid.
So the prison is different, right? For Darkseid, the prison is a literal planet. It's Apokolips. But for the basilisk, the prison is the idea itself. And that's maybe the biggest takeaway here. The most effective prison isn't made of bars you can see. It's an idea you can't think your way out of.
So, after all that, the crucial point is,
Which one is actually more terrifying? A tyrant who demands your obedience with his fists, or an idea that traps you just by knowing it exists? One is a prison